distance of just a few short steps, the temperature plummets and snow covers the ground. Whatever caused this sudden change in the climate surely wasn't natural. Ahead lies Bitterspine Palace, home to the Baron and Baroness Bitterspine, in one of the many holdings of the Prince of Frost.
You have arrived at Bitterspine Palace, home of one of the Prince of Frost's vassals. You proceed with caution. Whether you're expected by the Baroness or not, Prince of Frost's cold reputation is known throughout the Feywild. The Prince of Frost stands before a throne overlooking the crowded ballroom, the Baroness beside him. However, the third throne on the dais stands empty. The air chills as the Archfey points a finger toward you.
Why have you disturbed me with your presence, Outlander?
If I may, a connection in the summer court sent word of the Outlander's arrival. I have granted them an audience with me. I assure you, they will not disturb the ball. You're told that Osha loathes extravagant parties such as this one. He's likely to be avoiding the crowd somewhere, perhaps out on the windward balcony. The door to the treasure vault is bolted shut. Perhaps one of the waitstaff knows how to get inside. Water elementals flood out of the treasure vault to confront the intruders. You hear a bell chime in the ballroom as you pull this lever. You notice a bizarre painting depicting the Wintertide ballroom. To your surprise, you're able to step through it and into the ballroom itself. You hear a bell chime in the ballroom as you pull this lever. This door leads out to the windward balcony. From the dim gems on either side, you can see that it has been sealed to prevent guests from following Osha outside. The court advisor stares off into the distance. At the sound of your footsteps, he jolts, turns around, and lets out a dejected sigh. Osha hands you a key. He tells you that the frosted cerise flower can be found in the center of the Aurora Garden, but warns you not to let the true nature of your visit become gossip fodder for the other guests. You step out into the snowy garden. A peculiar patch of grass grows in its center, along with a flower that emanates a magical, chilly aura. The flower To your surprise, the ballroom is now covered in twisting vines and familiar flowers.
I thought I eradicated those flowers a millennia ago. Now they're everywhere.
Snarls the Prince of Frost. Lady Lazuli informs you that there were only 2 Eladrin nobles she didn't recognize in attendance tonight. She knows who can tell you more. Sir Snowdrift, the resident social butterfly of the Prince of Frost. Sir Snowdrift tells you that Lord Beryl was last seen slinking off to the kitchen in search of a fresh bottle of wine. Then he shoos you out of his crowd of adoring nobles. Lord Beryl says that Dame Allegra has gone to explore the Prince of Frost's quarters. Speaking with her is the next step in solving this plant puzzle. A growth of blossoming vines has sprung up. A group of palace guards stand at attention in front of the Prince of Frost's quarters. You'll have to defeat them in order to enter. An Eladrin noble stands at the base of the stairs that lead to the Prince of Frost's quarters. This must be Dame Allegra, the mysterious newcomer you're looking for. Dame Allegra saw a hooded stranger plant the frosted cerise in the garden. She bids you to follow her there, so she can help you search for clues about the culprit. A frost giant snores on the floor of this chamber. Clearly, you didn't think anyone would dare to intrude in the Prince of Frost's private quarters. You find yourself in a surprisingly sparse chamber. But even in such a bare room, you know there must be something hidden inside. The spout on this fountain turns like a door handle.
Until I am allowed
A secret passage slides open along the back wall. Hidden away in this room stands a sculpture of a woman. Its plaque reads, "For my love. In ice you survive." The Prince of Frost had hidden a journal inside a sphere of ice. The journal details memories of his long-lost love, who died thousands of years ago. As you drop the journal, the frost giant bursts into the room, along with a squad of red caps. The frost giant collapses onto the floor with a heavy thud.
now they know what it means to face a dragon. Dame Allegra stands in the center of the garden.
She lets out a low chuckle.
How did
Aiden's pants.
I think that's enough taunting for one day. I let my pretty petals finish you off.
With a mad cackle, vanishes. In her place, a shambling mound rises to attack. A mass of flowers and vines crumbles into ash. Yet it leaves behind one last frosted cerise flower. You pluck the frosted cerise flower from the snow. This time, the bloom stays in the palm of your hand, instead of crumpling away into nothing. Return to the Baroness to tell her what happened. Though the prince himself would never admit to it, the Baroness tells you he is in your debt for thwarting the Night Hag's.
The Prince of Frost glowers down at you.
Yes? Why have you come here? Out with it!
The Prince of Frost chuckles, but his eyes remain cold and hard as they bore down at you.
You come asking for favors when you impose on me by your very presence? Not many would dare to overstep so cavalierly. But as I feel numb with tedium, I will allow it. You will perform the 3 tasks I have set for you. Only then will I consider your request.
The Prince of Frost waves his hand, and a trio of portals open nearby.
Go, and be quick about it. Each second you stand here is a second of my patience being siphoned away.
You find yourself inside the base held by the rebel bandits. The Prince of Frost wants you to retrieve a wine chalice that they stole. Bandits said something about needing to get the patrolling sentries to wake everyone up. It may be possible to sneak past the sentries and through the sleeping bandits without needing to fight. The werewolf sentry stops, sniffs carefully, then looks directly at you and howls. Now the sounds of the bandits' awakening can be heard throughout the cavern. You'll have to fight your way through. You've arrived at Rhyme's Refrain, one of the Prince of Frost's favorite venues. He demands that you remove the griffins that seem to have made their home inside the amphitheater. A number of griffins are perched throughout the amphitheater. They look at you apprehensively, but make no move to attack. You skillfully tend to the griffins' wounds. In time, the griffins will be able to return to their usual lairs. The amphitheater can now return to regular use. That takes care of one favor for the Prince of Frost. The tramp of approaching boots echoes through the amphitheater. Then a vicious voice calls out,
The ones who bring me the matriarch's head gets an extra share of gold!
The hunters have caught up to the injured matriarch, but she is in no condition to fly. An injured guard calls out to you. You there! You have the look of an adventurer. You overhear an argument between the Fomorians. Perhaps there's some way to take advantage of this strife? Lurtz considers your words, then gives a single nod. He begins heading towards where he last knew his brother to be. Lurtz looks you over gravely. If I get to keep all the captives for myself, I might as well add more to my haul. Then he attacks. The Fomorians have been defeated, and the village is now safe. To once again even the scales, the Prince of Frost agrees to lend you his powers in reaching Hirsum's fortress. You can now proceed with the final part of your plan, trading Hirsum's needle.
Ahead lies Bitterspine Palace, home to the Baron and Baroness Bitterspine, in one of the many holdings of the Prince of Frost.
Snow drifts into the open gateway of the abandoned lodge. You spot Hirsum, the Prince of Satyrs, through the gate.
Well, again, Bear. I see you're still here, carrying out your duties.
You know that I am bound to this place, Prince. It was your command.
You don't seem very enthusiastic about it. As it happens, I'm about to have a very important meeting here, and I don't wish to be disturbed. I'll need some guards. Reliable guards, not a grumpy old flea bag like yourself. Let's see. Yes, that should do it. Don't bother to get up, Bear. I wouldn't want to interrupt your busy schedule.
The bear looks up at you. He's known you were there all along.
You might as well come in.
He grumbles as he opens the gate. The bear agrees to help you find the Baron, but first you must bring him 3 items.
face
A massive figure looms in the murk ahead. You found one of the four mornings. The giants live in the caverns beneath the Feywild. You strip the gloves off of the dead four Morian, and they immediately shrink down to your size. Their magic, of course. The portal flickers to life, and a dark figure steps through.
There you are, Archfey. I have come as you requested. And you obtained the Codex pages.
You open the door and step into the massive sky oak, only to find yourself plummeting downward.
Naturally. No, it took some doing. The mortals gave my...
And let us be done with this. Hand over the pages.
Now, let's not forget about that. There are two sides to this deal. And how can I be sure that you'll deliver what you've promised?
A blob of sky oak sap seeps out of the massive tree. You pick up the sticky sap. What could the bear possibly want with this? With the branch out of the way, a strong current of air blows up from deep inside the tree.
You ask much. You wish to transform the entire Feywild.
Oh, I wish to restore the Feywild. Return it to what it was before the Eladrin littered it with courts and palaces. This was once a place of unfettered freedom, touched only by the pure hand of nature.
Nature, yes, you needn't worry about that. I have found a place that civilization has never touched. A place where nature is surrounded.
The gnome baker tells you that he doesn't have any owlbear butter. A gingerbread golem that he created has run off with his entire supply. along with a collection of delectable custard-filled cakes.
Sugar and butter and power too.
All you need to do is open the door, and nature will come forth like a flood.
Make up a cake to make someone new. With the same magic that turned bread into me, I'm going to bake a whole band army.
All that's left of the gingerbread golem is a huge pile of crumbs. Amid his remains, you find a large pot of owlbear butter. You don the giant's gloves, reach deep inside the bear's mouth, and pull out an elaborate. A black unicorn bursts into the room, and a voice sounds in your mind. You have tampered with one of the fiercest spirits. Baron Bitterspine says he knows a secret that could defeat Hearsound.
Temperature plummets, and snow covers the ground. Whatever caused this sudden change in the climate surely wasn't natural. A vast tree reaches upward to the sky, yet some form of ripples roots, slowly twisting and transforming this ancient sentinel of the forest. These root tunnels are full of life, yet something seems off. A sense of unease hangs in the air. Time to find the source of the corruption, then asked to stop. An ugly red magic barrier blocks the way down to the tree's heart. A strange red light fills the blue, draining away the life in them. The barrier flickers out as the first orb is destroyed. As the second orb shatters, that sense of unease you felt fades a little. The barrier collapses when the third orb is destroyed, lifting the sense of dread from this area. A second barrier blocks the path down. You expect there are more orbs powered. Blindness pulled himself through the root doors and attacked. The root tunnel ahead looks nearly dead. The guns rot away in places. Orb in the northwest tunnel shatters. roars for them.
Needs to face
With the final orb in the northern roof tunnel destroyed, crackling sounds can be heard from the barrier. With the orbs gone, the second barrier collapses in on itself with an audible crack. Merchant suddenly has several bloody swords. Corrupting magic pours down the corridor, palpable waves, draining life from the tree. The Fomorian bellow. Stop them, voice pack! The Gaea's tree ritual must not be interrupted. With a single magic word, the Fomorian snaps the barrier back into place. However, you notice a crack in the base of the barrier you can squeeze through.